right now when they could actually get damage onto this turret. They just want to back and get back onto the map, but they've missed some opportunities there, and they didn't capitalize on Cloud9 committing more people to the mid lane.
Well, the situation we're in now is one where Cloud9 could feel pretty good. The Cloud Drake able to help them make the rotations, and that's going to be a quick pink ward killed off by Jensen. Snipe lands from Wild Turtle, good for him and everything, but
look at the pinks across the board and all these inventories. These guys are prioritizing vision so heavily. And just look at this line of wards from Cloud9 all the way down the top side river. Now they're establishing vision control in the bottom side, and the amount of vision on the map is incredible. They're completely dominating the vision game right now.
Really incredible stuff. Certainly a solid team, and Cloud9, again, sort of an overlooked squad because of how good TSM and Immortals were during the regular season, losing, what, 3 matches total between the teams. And you got C9, who came in as the 3rd seed, overlooked in some respects, but doing well in this first game.
Yeah, there was always the comment that Immortals and TSM are clearly the top 2 teams, and then everybody else in the NALCS was far and away below them. And that actually shows in the advantages and how quickly TSM and Immortals balloon their advantages. When you look at how far ahead they are at 10 minutes, and then it goes up from 1,000 to 3,000 gold in the span of 10 minutes, whereas Cloud9 take a 100 gold advantage at 10 minutes and make it 700. Yeah. So Immortals and TSM are much better at snowballing leads than Cloud9 has been in the past. Sure. And that's what's really separated the 2 teams here.
C9's a slower team. It's been kind of their style, right? Here's a game where C9's winning and there's 5 kills in 16 minutes. This is more the C9 way of be controlled, play the objectives, play the turrets.
I think it does also speak to some of their compositional choices. Having Gangplank and Sivir, you're going to be pretty happy to scale into that late game, have that AoE team fight. Jensen pretty far up here. Ooh. All the teams coming.
Gonna take a lot
coming across. Flashes gets away, but ooh, Juke's back into the cocoon. Raynor doing a lot of damage. Jensen out of summoner spells.
Meteos.
A nice jump away, and here's the Gangplank cannon barrage. Slowing down Raynor. Teleport coming in for Huni to join in the team, and suddenly C9 realizes they've bitten off a bit more than they want. And there's Powelter cutting off Smoothie, who does not have a lot of ways out of this one. Can't jump across just yet. Finally does Jensen. Looking for the root, can't quite get it. Everyone does escape with their lives. And it's once again Impact not having to teleport out.
Exactly, and that is huge for him. They keep drawing pressure on the other side of the map, so although they're not directly helping him by going to his lane, they draw pressure, Huni moves to roam, and Impact gets a little bit of free time to close the gap time and time again here.
It's an actually incredibly intelligent way to play the game because they aren't playing Immortals game. They're not saying, we're going to 2v2 you top over and over again and try to win that when we know that's your specialty. Instead, play to the bottom. Meteos hasn't changed his style. Gank for Sneaky, gank for Jensen, and then pull that attention away so Huni wants to come down, and that actually distracts him from dominating his lane.
Wonderful stuff, and you're seeing sort of this pay out. Once again, Huni counterpicking the top lane match. It's one we've seen do well before, this rumble into Gangplank, and despite getting ganked, despite losing his turret, Impact down 20 CS this late in the game. Not that huge of a deal. His farm's going to be fine.
But I also think that moving forward in this best of 5, Gangplank and Shen for Impact, because of the global pressure, they don't have to gank his lane. Go elsewhere, Impact can still help where they're actually fighting.
I think that the next dragon here is going to be pretty key. Immortals did have vision on this bot side around the dragon pit, but C9 heavily contesting it once again. Next one is an Infernal, which both teams are really going to want to try to contest in and just not easily give up.
Yeah, I do think, though, at this point in time, Immortals have a slightly better team fight if Huni can actually land his equalizer in a really good spot. So they have to make it to that Drake first and set up.
The amount of burst you can put out with a level 2 Rumble ult plus the Proto Belt, if you can flash on top of an 80 carry, you can instantly kill them.
Ooh, speaking of flashing on top of somebody, Raynor flashing away because you had Jensen just on top of him there. Meteos and the rest of C9 able to constantly play inside Raynor's jungle, take control of that area of the map. Infernal Drake spawning in 6 seconds, and C9 want this as well.
The fact that the jungle has no flash could be big for that, but Meteos gets caught.
CC on a immediate piece. Okay, Raynor is actually the one who has been killed. Looks like the trap was set for the spider. Powelter roaming in for this one. Snipes coming across. Smoothie, one more shot to go. Oh, he could burn down. He might burn down. It's going to be close, and no, he lives. He does not after a while. Turtle takes him out. He did what Score could not, and his prey actually burns down. And now Sneaky running away. The 1-for-1.
Impact does have TP, but he's staying topside. Huni is pushing down the mid lane turret. They will get this, and C9 is looking for a trade on the top side. Will Immortals make the move towards Dragon?
And they might want to, but keep in mind, Impact never even used his teleport in the prior engagement. That spell is up and available if he needs to join it.
Does have no GP ulti though, and Rumble ulti is available. That is very big for Immortals. C9 will have to play it carefully as Immortals is starting up the Dragon.
Well, Rainover's still running over. He doesn't have Smite available to him, but they can zone out Meteos, and they're going to, and it's going to be pretty all right for them, and good zoning. Immortals plays it right. The teleport not burned. Impact saves the summoner, says I'll trade a turret for that instead, and I think that's a fair choice. But a good capitalization by Immortals.
Especially if they can delay backs here at all, he can get a little bit of alone time on the tier 2, or potentially try to steal away the blue. There are some more options here, and C9 is moving in on all sides, pushing up mid lane, trying to keep that pressure rolling. Impact working on the tier 2 now. But Pobelter's looking to roam.
Damage out, but this is actually it's an insane amount of damage.
So
Yeah, you got Talia, and you can't orange over a wall, so Impact's in a pretty bad spot. But can he even survive if he flashes? Rainover is here as well. This is going to be a certain death for the Cloud9 top laner. Yeah, he's buying time, goes down 3 members top lane, the rest of the team pushing bot lane.
Exactly, going for that red buff, making sure that they can get some vision around it, get some control, and that's the trade that they really make there because Wild Turtle and Adrian played safe. Definitely
not respecting the Talia ultimate enough, but I think making the right choice to not blow summoners once he was in that bad situation.
And that's certain to die. Seismic Shove, as long as it stays up, he can get through the teleport.
Yep.
Honestly, a big strength of Impact is how much he soaks pressure, and then he doesn't crumble under it. We don't see useless summoner spell usage from him. We don't see him actually give up easy kills. He tries to drag it out as long as possible.
A double Ruby Sightstone already for C9. This really does speak to how important they think vision is in this matchup. And I think in a game with LeBlanc, I really tend to agree. So much of it is about controlling vision, getting the jump on your opponents. And for Immortals, inversely, keeping sight of that LeBlanc so you don't get one shot.
You know what's great is 615, part of the goal with like Roots and the lane swaps was to make the game look a little bit more like the game that we all play at home.
Yeah.
Double Ruby Sightstone has been seen by no player ever on live. There is no jungler who buys a Ruby Sightstone in anyone's ranked game of all time.
Maybe a misclick.
Accident.
That was supposed to be Red Smite, my bad, guys.
Well, he got that too.
I know. Just, I mean, I know most of C9's colorblind, you know.
Yeah,
maybe it worked out for him there. Meant to be something else. But either way, C9, yes, playing the vision game, staying that 1,000 gold up, and playing a spread out map.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because Cloud9 are actually warding at a little bit of an unprecedented rate for them because Immortals are actually the #1 warding team in the league, and then Cloud9 is actually the #1 ward clearing team in the league. They clear the most percentage of enemy vision.
Look at bot side, though. They are kind of moving in here on Impact. We have Jensen in the top side actually starting the split push, and C9 is starting to look to that 1-3-1. They have double DP, and they will have the global advantages heavily because of that.
Trying to pressure Impact.
Well, juke one. Not going to juke that one. Barrels in, and that's going to be 3 of the 4 snipes. Impact low on help, but here comes the re-engage. Sivir ulti popped as well. The flash engage to Rainover does not dodge away with Repel, and now in towards Adrian Exhaust. Burn on the Jensen. Here comes the snipe, going to root up Meteos. A nice equalizer across several of the back line. The flash chase, Adrian Hootie pick up 1 kill. Ooh, Cocoon lands on Meteos. That's going to be a dead Rek'Sai. Jensen's going to be next on the plate. It's a barbecue here. So many of Cloud9 getting slaughtered. A quick dodge away from Deadly Flourish with 3 for 0. What a team fight for Immortals. Finally, a lead for the favorites.
Exactly, and Immortals show why they go for those team fights and why they pick this type of composition. They like those early brawls, and they immediately truck it across the map. Are they looking at a Baron?
They're certainly looking at it. They clear the mid lane away. They ping on the way towards Baron. Running through wards. This is a known choice, but they're going for it.
And Rek'Sai has his ultimate. He's going to be up in 5 seconds. This is very risky. They may look to turn and fight as Cloud9 are closing in. Can they get this? It would be huge for Immortals.
Many a game change on Baron. Oh, the middle barrel was gone. He can't, and that's going to be the smite picked up. Nicely done by Rainover. The battle ensues. Meteos low on health gets picked off, and Rainover getting the Baron and the enemy jungler to add insult to injury.
An absolute disaster for Cloud9 as they lose their jungler, they lose the Baron and the fight on bot side, and Immortals has blown this fight wide open.
A huge gamble there to go for the Baron afterwards, but this play set up. Jensen TPs onto the ward. They see him coming. Rainover gets his repel off, holds it, waits till Jensen goes forward, gets off it, and then the Talia wall sections them off, which allows everybody to go to the bottom side, and then the equalizer up is beautiful from Huni, and then the flash Proto Bell into 3 members of the back line. Huni playing that really well.
And once again, Immortals on the prowl here. They are looking for Jensen in the bot lane.
Okay, there we go. Jensen's down. He went down to the bottom side, got burned down. Wild Turtle picked him off. Yeah, the dive worked out very well. It made sure he couldn't go to the backward side. And with Baron buff on, Everyone on the team, actually. It's going to be bot lane outer turret going down. And Immortals now with a kill lead and their first turret lead of the game as Huni just clears mid.
Yeah, the game was even right before that fight happened. Then afterwards, with those 3 kills down, 1,000 gold lead for Immortals, do the Baron. Now we're looking at 4,000 gold up in the span of, honestly, 2 minutes.
It's crazy how they just seem to be able to flip a switch like that, but Huni pretty far forward here, has no flash.
He's going to be dying for this one. Can he trade back on a Smoothie? The answer is likely to be no, and they will slink away, but that is 4 people who are part of that fight. Even the Gangplank ulted for it to happen, and 1 kill turns into bot lane tier 2, still a better objective for Immortals. As now mid lane under fire, C9 trying to make the best of this rough situation here, and they will likely knock this down, bringing the game a little bit closer. Properly played by Smoothie, takes as many shots as he needs to. Oh wow, backdoor bonus. Triggering on in time, that turret will not quite fall. The strong breeze will get it later, but right now C9 cannot huff and puff.
And they immediately start shoving down the mid lane. It's still only 4 members, though. They don't have Huni. His TP is not up either.
Oh,
Smoothie!
He's dead. He's gone. There's Cocoon. There's everything. Rainover, another kill. 3, 1, and 4 for him. Plenty of ability power with the Riley's Crystal Scepter, and that's going to be another turret. And this is Immortals when they're winning. They play so much faster. Of course, the Baron buff helps, but this team is vicious at trying to take their advantages. Barrel Chain only does a bit of damage. Already up to the inhibitor 25 minutes in.
It doesn't even look like we're in the same game. I mean, this is something Cloud9 was dominating, and just like that, the inhibitor likely going to go down. It's a 7,000 gold lead for Immortals.
Ooh, chunk on a Wild Turtle, loses Hex Drinker. Jensen actually loses a lot of health, but the Duskblade cannot quite kill him off. Inhibitor's gone.
And this is what has really separated our top 2 teams from the rest of the league, is the risk they're willing to take. Going for that Baron, what other team would really do that in a matter of seconds? When the Rek'Sai has ult fit up, Meteos has a chance to steal it. They take the risk, so they say we're either going to win right now and just dominate the rest of the game, or we're going to lose slowly afterwards. And they decide, you know what, win right now. Let's go for it.
And even that was a small risk. We saw the look at potentially recalling for Immortals, but they said, no, wait, mid lane's under fire. Even though half us are injured, we're going to make sure you get off that wave. There was a chance that C9 went for the fight there. It didn't happen, and another turret staying alive. Immortals fighting for everything on the map.
Yeah, they really don't let anything go uncontested in any of their matchups. And I think the thing that's really stuck out for me in this game for Immortals is the fact that they lost a whole bunch of fights early on, a little bit of skirmishing here and there, and then immediately they're like, we just need that one. They really trust themselves to have that 4-on-4, that 5-on-5 team fight prowess where they're able to split fights up, and the Talia helps them do that so much. The Rumble helps them do it, and it honestly explains why that champion can ban so much against Huni.
That said, C9 definitely not out of this one just yet. 6,000 gold lead, a little bit over that right now. But they do have a lot of very powerful scaling, and as C9 starts to pick up more and more of these key items, as we see the Infinity Edge get picked up on Sneaky, and as we see some more items coming for Gangplank, they always have the potential to turn these fights around.
Exactly. Impact on this Gangplank. If he's able to...
The stun's going to land. Gangplank to help out as well. Poetry passive going to turn off right now, but they've got the time. They've got the damage output. Here comes Huni. Watson nearly kills off Sneaky, but now he gets exhausted running away. Smoothie cannot land his passive onto him, so Huni can run away with impunity. The flash chase for Impact. The barrel going to get locked down by Huni. Here comes the re-engage on towards Zhonya's bot for time because top lane's getting pushed. Yes, they will finally kill off this Rumble, but how much of the top lane will be picked off? It's right now a 4v3 on the map. Immortals have to be able to disengage safely. There's a chain under Rainover. 2 inhibitors going to be going down, but here comes the re-engage. Sneaky has health, and the ulti is up in about a minute's time.
C9 needs the takes here. They can't let them get away for this, and they are going to be able to have this TP come in. They're looking for the fight.
This could be catastrophic for Immortals. Does not hit the 3-barrel chain, so no damage dealt just yet. Now Rainover sectioned off. He's going to land the knockup. The red smite is there. He's going to flash to stay alive, and the couple of snipes actually really pick off Impact. Yeah, the cover fire doing quite a lot, and somehow nothing gets picked off in a 4v3 where C9 had the flank. Great escape by Immortals.
That was a scary situation because Immortals, think back to Spring Split. 10,000 gold lead with a Lucian top. They were chased down in top lane after going for an inhibitor against that Maokai, and then that was where the game rubber banded back against them. They were almost in that same situation against the LeBlanc.
Really was an incredible engage there, and C9 knew they needed to get more. They needed to take these guys off the map, start picking up some turrets, and really clean up some gold, because after that trade, they got 2 for 1, and they lost an inhibitor turret and an inhibitor. That is such a bad trade for them.
Well, a lot of the map not going Immortals' way. This team viciously aggressive. We're under 30 minutes in a game they were losing early on. First turret gold went over to C9. All of the good stuff went over to Cloud9 here. And this is Immortals, 2 inhibitors down in under 30, looking for their third.
Yeah, in the span from 22 minutes to 29 minutes, 7 minutes, they have gained a 7,000 gold advantage. Yeah, they have just ballooned their lead. Baron is on the table again in 35 seconds.
And they're looking to push down the third inhibitor here. C9 needs to hold on. They cannot give up 3 inhibs against a team like Immortals.
Well, they're looking for the play right there. Barrel hits 1 minion.
Meteos and Jetson are on the side, getting ready for that flank.
Wall's going to collapse right there. Not too much done. Turret low.
Yeah, it's a clever wall. Stops them from reinforcing the turret, allows Turtle to stand on the bottom right side and have no return fire. But Meteos has just been behind Immortals right now. He's trying to look for the proactive play here, but Sneaky has to clear the super minions that are coming into the Nexus, so he can't make a move. They're most likely going to have to give up this turret unless the timing of the waves actually works out and Sneaky can come here.
I feel like they can't afford to give it up. I think they're going to try to force a fight here. We'll see if it's going to work out as in they go.
Jensen rooted. Jensen flat. Jensen going to go down to the equalizer. Huni picks him off 1 for 0, but they traded back on the Talia. Mid laners dead. Sneaky cutting away, but Huni pops Zonia's. And Smoothie's got to block these shots, but he will die to 1 more snipe. And be careful, Sneaky. Thankfully, Jukes to the right to stay alive for himself, but look at this. It's 4 versus 3, and the health bars are low. Guardian Angel popped. Rainover wants more. They're going to the base.
Exactly. This might be game 1 right here. Both Nexus turrets fall. They were already low for minions, and Immortals coming out swinging.
Beautifully played comeback by Immortals. The early game did not matter. They found the mid-game
low on health,
they wanted.
coming in.
Running out of health. They've got to be careful on this one. They've actually lost Huni and Rainover. Now it's only Turtle and Adrian. The flash
reload.
chasing by Sneaky, but Sneaky stops, but he keeps the game alive. C9 have 1 more chance to maybe turn this game around.
Their inhibitors are actually back up. They have the mid lane and the bot lane inhibitor. They are still alive in this game. Obviously had a huge deficit with Baron on the map. Can C9 stay alive?
That was really interesting because what happened there is Wild Turtle, he flashed forward and he shot his last shot, not at Sneaky, but at the person who couldn't return damage to him. And let's watch this.
Yeah, watch this fight one more time. Sneaky being largely ignored as so much of the attention is put on Impact, on Meteos here, and Sneaky dueling on the side here against Rainover. Barely winning this fight was the game-saving play. Look at him, he has no health. And then Turtle,
He flashes for Meteos.
Tank.
He could have killed Sneaky there. That was the final crit shot. If he had killed Sneaky, Meteos has to go back into the base there and then come out, and that might have been enough time.
But still, C9 definitely not out of the woods just yet. Their third inhibitor will be coming up soon, but the Nexus is exposed. 1 lost fight will cost them game number 1. Baron on the map, Immortals will be looking to pressure.
Even just a rotation ends the game. If you get 3 seconds alone in C9's base, the game is over, and Immortals wins it. So tight timing here. They're going to play for the Ocean Drake. Baron is up. C9 getting out of their base to try to fight for something. And here we go, in towards this Ocean Drake. Gonna be picked up pretty cleanly. Immortals knows they have a lot of room to work with. The threat of a teleport that is up for Huni right now. The threat of an out-rotation. You saw C9 run down to contest Baron, but it wasn't there that Immortals was going for.
We talked earlier about the power of Sivir in this late game. IE now picked up. 3 items complete. Building defensively, working on the Hex Drinker, and if Sneaky can get to that Maw, can get to the Bloodthirster, these kind of items, he can potentially survive and hard carry some of these fights. There's a lot of squishy members here for Ricochet.
Exactly, and Sneaky, he has been funneled a ton of this farm. He's almost 100 up, but he's 2 levels up over Wild Turtle at this point. He's been given so much, and like you said, there's nobody on Immortals that wants to build tank except for Adrian, and that's why you have to watch out for the Gangplank and the Sivir in the mid-late game, because they can decimate your entire team.
And you can see LeBlanc, what she can do against no magic just built up by Huni.
The tension in this game is palpable. You can see the top lane pushing in for Immortals. They are looking to make something happen. Huni has his TP, and he will come right back. Immortals wants to fight now.
Here comes the play for the bot lane inhibitor. The Nexus itself, of course, will be exposed afterwards. Smoothie to tank up the curtain call. Sneaky almost dead already. Ooh, okay, Smoothie gonna survive this one, but look at that burn onto the back line. Impact is already dead, and it's a 5v4. Smoothie just survives inside the fountain, but here comes the shot for the Nexus. 600 damage dealt for auto attack there. The dive back in. Smoothie gonna run down. Meteo's gonna be next up. It's a 5v2. Jensen gonna be attacked. Smoothie, oh, okay, yeah, already dead. And Wild Turtle still stays alive. There's the ace. There's the shutdown. There's the game 1 victory in the semifinals. Immortals take game 1 over Cloud9.
There's far too much teamfight power there by Immortals as they break down the door, get the ace, and take game number 1.
that breaking point was that 22-minute fight. Beautifully played there by the mid-game fighting composition of Immortals. They played to their strengths. They didn't fall completely into the game that Cloud9 was trying to play. And that was a team fight where Impact didn't even show up with his teleport. He threw down the ultimate, but he didn't show up for it. And that's what Cloud9 were trying to do, is get the most out of the plays where they fight on the bottom side and allow Impact to scale his gameplay.